What does LSU need to do to make the playoffs this season? That's the question we're attempting to answer in this episode. Last week, fall camp started down in Baton Rouge, and from the intel that I've heard, sounds like there's a lot to love around this team. Number one, Sam Leavitt, sounds like he's looking sharp. He says he's at 100% after his offseason surgery on his foot. If he truly is at 100%, which you never know, especially whenever the player's the one telling you they're at 100%, but if he truly is at 100%, that's a great thing for this offense. If he has full confidence in that foot, he can put all of his weight on it, he can go full sprint, that's a great thing here. Separately, on the defensive side, sounds like the linebacking core, the defensive backfield, safeties, cornerbacks, they're all looking really good as well. So, again, there's a lot to love here, but there's also a lot of question marks on this LSU team, or at least a handful that I have questions on, things that we need to be watchful for LSU, and really things that they need to prove this year if they want to make sure that they're going to make the playoffs. So in this video, I've got 5 things that LSU needs to do if they want to make the college football playoffs in 2026. The first thing, and this isn't necessarily a question that I have about them, this is just more of a factual statement. You got to go 10-2. I don't see you getting into the playoffs at 9-3, barring some crazy unforeseen circumstance that happens in the SEC specifically. If a bunch of teams go 9-3, 8-4, you've got a better strength of record, strength of schedule. I won't dive all the way into the logistics of how we have to get there because I really don't think it's going to happen. I think if you want to secure a spot in the playoffs, you've got to go 10-2. And the part 1A of this is you have to make sure that you win that home opener against Clemson. Clemson's going to have a new quarterback. They're going to have a new offensive system. You're going to have a new quarterback and a new offensive system. I just think you have the better roster. I think you've got the better team. I think you've got the better staff. And not to mention you're playing the game at home. You're playing the game in Tiger Stadium. It's going to be Lane Kiffin's first game in Tiger Stadium. The atmosphere is going to be second to none. So you've got to win that game. If I had to pick it right now, I think we do win that game. I think LSU absolutely should beat Clemson in week 1. But if you want to get to 10-2, you've got to win that game. Because if you look at your schedule the rest of the way, I see you're playing at Ole Miss. We're playing Texas A&M. Playing at Auburn in what could be a little bit of a letdown spot before a bye week. We're playing against Alabama, against Texas, at Tennessee. A whole bunch of different games in there that you can drop. Probably 1-2. And so to ensure that you're going to go 10-2, or to have the best shot at going 10-2, I should say, you got to beat Clemson in week 1. The second thing LSU needs to do, if they want to make sure they make the playoffs this year, is you got to be successful in the run game. Being an LSU fan over the last 4 years has been so frustrating to watch, especially being a lifetime LSU fan myself. We were always a run-first team. Under Les Miles, that's all I remember. And everybody got so pissed off about it that we did nothing but run the football. And now, over the last 4 years, I'd have given anything to be able to just run the football like we had seen those Les Miles teams do. We couldn't move the football on the ground outside of having Jaden Daniels, who was essentially your only running threat. Everything else just didn't work, especially over the last 2 years. And whenever you had a guy like Garrett Nussmeier at quarterback, he wasn't really much of a running threat, so it really put all the stress on the running backs. That's neither here nor there. What you have to have this season is a successful run game. The benefit you do have is Lane Kiffin over the last 5 seasons, I believe he's been the number one, or he's had the number 1 rushing offense in the SEC over the last 5 seasons combined, so not one in any one individual season specifically. So Lane Kiffin knows how to get good run game out of his offense. Charlie Weiss Jr. as well knows how to get good run game out of the offense. I know Lane Kiffin likes to give him his flowers as much as he can. So I don't worry about that a ton. Really what I worry about and what part 2A of this point is the O-line's just got to work. You only have 2 pieces on that O-line that you know for sure where they're going to be. You got Jordan Seaton at left tackle. You got Braylon Moore at center. The other 3 spots are up for grabs, and whoever takes those, we need to make sure that those guys are gelling and that they're gelling well, specifically in the run game. In pass pro, I'm not as worried about pass pro. The tempo offense, getting the ball out quickly, that's the name of the game for a Lane Kiffin offense, for a Charlie Weiss Jr. offense. The run game specifically is where you just need to make sure that O-line is working and working well. Point 3 for what LSU needs to do to earn a spot in the college football playoffs is you need to have good to great defensive tackle play and development through the season. From everything that I'm hearing right now, it sounds like you're going to be relying on true freshmen, or at least young players in the defensive tackle position for your starters. These true freshmen are great. You got 5 stars, you got Deuce Geralds, you got Richard Anderson, you've got potentially Lamar Brown, either playing defensive tackle or edge. Wherever that all shakes out, these guys need to be able to produce. There are some thoughts that I have about playing true freshmen at D-tackle, especially if you're going to have 2 true freshmen playing there and starting consistently. It's tough. They make more mistakes, yes, but if they truly do have the talent level and they are able to play SEC caliber football, they don't have to be elite. I just need them to be good, maybe teetering on great as we get towards the end of the year if you really want to make that push whenever you have Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas to finish the season. They're going to have to play some good football there. But this plays in tandem with point number 4, which is you've also got to be able to stop a running quarterback. And if you don't have good defensive tackle play, that becomes a whole lot harder. You have to be gap sound. You have to make sure you're containing that quarterback well in the pocket. And playing a running quarterback over the last couple of years against a Blake Baker defense has been essentially the bane of our existence as LSU fans. Anytime we meet a running quarterback, I think Jalen Milroe probably got 200 yards on a zone read play alone against us. We just could not stop it. Couldn't stop it to save our lives. Now, they're going to have some more opportunities in practice to be able to see a running quarterback. They had to play against Garrett Nussmeier every single day in practice, and there was never a running threat there. They didn't have to learn how to chase down a running quarterback or even how to protect that read scheme. And so I don't think it's going to be as bad as it has been over the last couple of years, but as a defense, you've got to learn how to do that because you are going to be playing quarterbacks like Trinidad Chambliss, quarterbacks like Marcel Reed, whoever comes out of Alabama. If it's Keelan Russell, running quarterback there. Arch Manning, he can hurt you with his legs. He won't kill you with his legs, but he can definitely hurt you with his legs. At Tennessee, they're going to have a dual threat there as well. You've got a lot of dual threat quarterbacks on your schedule, and you got to figure out how to stop them because if you can't do it, it's going to be a long season all over again, and a lot of long games for LSU fans to watch. And very lastly, point number 5, and this is probably the most important of them all, because if this doesn't happen, nothing else matters. The team's got to stay healthy. You have your starting 22 on offense and defense. I would put them up against most, if not any, team in the country. The problem is, outside of maybe receiver, linebacker, some defensive back positions, specifically safety, you are not very deep in a lot of positions. Like, you can't afford to lose right now an edge rusher. You can't afford to lose a cornerback. You can't afford to lose anybody on offensive line. If you want to go 10-2, if you want to make a push for the college football playoffs, you've got to stay healthy. And I know this is a big point of emphasis for Lane Kiffin because he's recently just said for fall practices, the reason why they're going non-contact so long, the reason why they're bringing morning and evening practices in the fold. I know he didn't go too in-depth into that, but a lot of this is around keeping players fresh, keeping them healthy for the long term throughout what's going to be a long and grueling season. Because I think Lane Kiffin does know, if he's being truthful with himself, one key injury or one key guy out for the season in any of those certain positions makes you vulnerable on any part of your team, whether it's in the pass game if a cornerback goes down, whether it's in the run game if an edge rusher or defensive tackle goes down, or on your entire offense if an offensive lineman or two go down. So staying healthy is going to be paramount for this LSU team. And if you can do those 5 things, I think you're obviously, number 1, if you go 10-2, you're a surefire lock to get into the playoff. But outside of those, if you do the other 4, I think you've got a really good chance of making the playoff. And if we get there, I think we have a decent chance of making a deep run in the playoff as well. Again, as long as we're healthy entering into the postseason, pretty good shot of that. Thanks so much for watching and for listening. You LSU fans out there, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're trying to get there before week 1 of the college football season starts, not week 0, trying to give ourselves that extra week. We're about to hit 150 subscribers, and I am very excited about that, but we still got a long way to go to hit 500. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you next time here on the Saturday Report.